All right then, welcome back. This is Business Center, and as I told you earlier, we have our guest today. His name is Kimuri Mwangi. He said he just wants to be known as an arrowroot farmer today, and that is what we're going to call him. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kevin.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, let's just jump into it. Let's start with your story.
Yes.
What influenced you to be an arrowroot farmer? What made you start this?
What I can say is that I've grown up eating arrowroots, or domas we call them. Our lad has got a lot of arrowroots. So since I was born, there were a lot of arrowroots. In fact, I remember there was a time when you'd go to school, and when you come for lunch, it is arrowroots and sweet potatoes. When you come to supper, they are still there. In the morning, you take it as breakfast until you feel like now you run away. But the reason is because they were there in plenty, and there was no such good market. In fact, at that time, nobody would even think of selling arrowroots. So we just cultivated them for home usage and for subsistence. So recently, there has been a very high interest of doma. One is driven by the urge for people to eat healthy food, and so a lot of people got interested in doma because doma is one food that is has advantages to various people who have got various problems. It is friendly to people who have hypertension. It is friendly to people who have heart conditions. It is friendly even to kids. In fact, it is used to make infant formula.
Oh, all right.
So that interest recently has brought a lot of interest to people to have doma. So then I looked around and saw that we have got rad that has got arrowroots, and I decided, why don't I do this commercially now? And that's when I started farming doma commercially.
All right. And you've spoken about the market. How is it in Kenya right now?
Well, the market is there, but people should know, especially farmers, they should know that there are a lot of market dynamics. When you have your produce there, it is very, very important, like I always say. If you're farming anything, it's better you know that there is a market that is available. Yes, I'm planting my domas, and I'll sell to in this market. I'll sell to this person. You don't just plant anything and then you start looking for a market. But the market is huge, by the way. There are people there, there are traders there who sell the domas in various towns, and also if you go into many grocery stores these days, they are selling domas. So I can say the market is there. Yes.
All right. And before now we get to the market.
Yes.
For example, you are a farmer. How do you establish an arrowroot farm? What are some of the requirements that you should start with? Or how is the land preparation for this doma before now you get to the market?
Yes, Kevin. You see, doma is one crop that is very good because it doesn't have a season. You can plant doma anytime you want, provided the land that you want to plant there is compatible to arrowroot farming. Domas are planted usually on riverbeds or in areas where they are swampy, but we cannot call them swampy where there is a plenty of water. Yes, so if you have that land, then you can plant doma anytime. So you just need healthy suckers, because the healthy suckers are very important. You know, the bigger the sucker that you are planting, the bigger the arrowroot it will give you, and also the less time it will take to grow. Yeah, so you need to have healthy suckers, and then you prepare your land well. Domas need very soft soil. So you need to till your land well, and also to dig those holes with good space. You know, initially people are planting just one one sucker per hole. Yeah.
All right.
But like me now, I plant 3 or 4, depending with the size of the sucker. Yeah, because the sucker needs an area where it can, you know when now the arrowroot starts now maturing, it needs an area so that it can expand well.
All right.
Yeah, so the hole needs to be big enough to accommodate the 3 or 4 suckers that you'll plant there. Then you also need some manure, and that's where now the difference comes in. Those times I'm telling you, when you are farming them for subsistence, nobody used manure to plant arrowroots. In fact, there was this myth of people saying, no, domas planted with manure are not good, they are not tasty. But that is just that. Personally, I use goat manure to plant arrowroots, and they are very tasty. Yeah, so if you want good results, it's good to use manure. You have good manure that is well composted. Then you plant in, like I've told you, in an area that has got good space, that will give the plants good space to mature. And from there you are good to go. So if there is no enough water at that time, you must water the plants so that at least now from there, if there's going to be rain, you'll be lucky. If there's no rain, you must water the plants so that at least now you make sure now they are okay. Then from there, you don't require a lot of work. Yes, arrowroot is one crop that doesn't require a lot of care. Yes, once you plant well, then what is very much important is you do some mulching on the plants. Yeah, once you do a good mulching on the plants, then from there you just make sure there are no weeds, and it's not a lot of time. Yeah.
All right, and now I'm interested to know, for example, in an urban area like Nairobi.
Yes.
And we live, some of us live in apartments. Maybe you want to plant this the arrowroot. Yes. On your balcony. How would you advise a person who wants to do that?
Well, I don't know if it can work in a balcony, although these days there are a lot of technologies. But what I know is that you can. There's what we call the upward arrow technology that people are using today. Those people, especially who don't have swampy land or land that has got a lot of water, so you can just use any land. What people do is that you dig a big trench, and then you lay a polythene paper. Yeah. Then on top now you add soil mixed with manure, and then pour water. The polythene paper is to prevent seepage of the water into the soil. So now when you add soil mixed with manure, then you can plant arrowroots on top, and then you do some good mulching. Yes. So eventually what you'll be doing, you'll be adding some water depending on how the dryness of the soil. So you'll be just checking that. Okay. So you don't have to have that swampy land to plant the arrowroots. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that is something, that is technology people are using, and they are getting good harvests. Yes. Okay. So whenever you live in an apartment up there or down there, you can just select a small portion, and then you plant some arrowroots there using that technology. All right. For those in apartments, I think you've gotten that. It's very clear what you can do. And now let us move. How long do arrowroots take to mature? What is the best condition to grow them in, so to make sure that they give good results? Well, arrowroots take 5 to 6 months to mature. Yes, although there may be a slight difference. One, because of several reasons. One, it depends with if you had planted a healthy suckers. You know, like I've told you, the healthier the sucker, the faster it will mature, and the bigger the arrowroot tuber will be. And also, it also depends with how if you don't plant using manure, definitely it might take longer. But average it's 5 to 6 months. All right. Yes. So, and also it depends if the conditions are good, if it's getting good water. And it's also good to mention here that arrowroots do not necessarily need to be grown in waterlogged soils. That's something people usually confuse. Yeah, if you plant arrowroots in a waterlogged soil, the tubers will just rot. Yes, so it needs to have, the soil needs to be moist or have enough water, but not waterlogged. So in 5 to 6 months average, you can harvest your arrowroots.
All right.
Yes.
And now after the 5 or 6 months, what shows you that now this is ready for harvest?
Yes. Well, one, if you're farming, what do I call it? If you're farming commercially, or if you're in agribusiness, definitely you'll be keeping your records. Yeah, yeah. So you'll know this is my 3rd month, this is the 4th month. But generally, if you look at the sucker as it grows, it grows bigger. So it will show you that surely this is almost mature. But also the leaves start turning, drying up in patches, and also start turning yellow in patches. Yeah, that is one sign that now the tubers are ready, yeah, for harvest. Yes.
And now, a little bit curious, the leaves. We were having a discussion with my producer in the morning, and then we were trying to figure out how do people eat the leaves? Are they used to heal wounds? What is the importance of these leaves? Because after you remove the leaves,
yes,
and then you remain with the arrowroot.
Yes.
Now, where do these leaves go?
Well, like you are saying, the leaves are also very important. Yeah, the leaves, there are people who use the leaves as vegetables. What do we call them? Do we call them vegetables or as, or they eat the leaves?
Wow, okay.
Yes, it is a delicacy. Yeah, so you are very right when you are saying that. But also now that one depends with maybe where one comes from, because there are people who don't eat them. But it's a delicacy in some areas. And it's very nutritious, by the way. Yes, so the leaves are very important. For those who don't eat the leaves, like for us in our area, we don't eat the leaves.
Okay.
But I guess it's not that they are bad. I think we just don't eat because we have a lot of greens. I think that's the reason, yeah. But for us now, when now you are harvesting, yeah, you make sure now that the leaves are use them to do mushing even to the arrows themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't throw them away. Yeah, you just leave them there and you use them to do mushing as mulch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, what are some of the types of arrowroots that we have? Do we have just one type, or there are different types of arrowroots?
In Kenya, we have two varieties of arrowroots. We have the indigenous one that has been there for all along. It's called the Endoi variety, and then there's a new that's called Dashin. Dashin has its origins in Burundi. Yes, so those are the two varieties that are being grown in Kenya today. Yes, and the difference is with the Dashin usually has big tubers than the Endoi. Yeah, so, but the Endoi is the one that has been there all along. So we just have those two varieties for now.
All right. And now, which type of soil, can you say maybe this soil pH is the best for growing arrowroot? Which type of soil is best to grow arrowroot in?
Well, loamy soils, well drained, are conducive for growing arrowroots. But we can say usually with manure and good watering plan, arrowroot is one plant that does well in various types of soils. Even
the semi-arid and arid areas?
Exactly. If you just have water and manure, it will do well. Yes, because like you have said, the upward arrowroot technology, you don't have to get some soil from those swamp areas. No, just the soil that is there. Yeah.
And now, it's agricultural contribution in the country. How do you view it if you maybe compare it with other tubers? What's its contribution in the country?
Well, currently there's something interesting that I've observed with arrowroots is that many young people are taking up arrowroot farming, and that's very interesting because one thing, you know, growing arrowroots is a muddy affair. Yeah, you have to get into that mud. But and most youths or young people, they don't want to wear those gumboots and go there in mud. But they have taken up arrowroot farming. So that is something that is very interesting, I've observed. And also the interest that it has brought about in healthy eating. That means the demand is high. And now along the value chain now, we can see now that it is increasing, and the benefits are immense. Yeah, because if you look at the farmers, they're getting the income. If you look at those traders who are buying the arrowroots, even in hotels these days, I know you've been to hotels these days, doma is on the menu. Yeah. Yeah. Most people who want to eat healthy these days, they don't eat the madazi and the other things. Yeah. They order for doma. Yeah. So I think it's important even in the, if you look in on the nutrition side of it, it is helping this country nutrition wise, even for people to eat healthy, and also for the benefits now, as we've said, along the value chain. Yeah.
And now as we wrap up this, what's your take on Kenyans' consumption of ndoma?
Well, I think it is picking up, like I've told you, but you know, it moves from those people who know what ndoma is. Like I've told you, for me, I have been brought up eating ndoma, so I know it. For those who have not been consuming it, definitely now with the increased demand and the interest, they are starting taking it up, and they are eating it, and especially when they hear about its health benefits. So I can say there's a lot of interest, and even now being on the hotel menus, yeah, it is becoming one of the biggest delicacies in the country. Yes.
So we can say it is picking up?
It is really picking up, yes.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to the show today.
Yes, Kevin.
We've gotten really a lot of insight on this subject of arrowroot farming. Thank you so much. That has been Kimuri. He is an arrowroot farmer. He said he wants to be referred to as an arrowroot farmer. When he comes next time, I know you will. You'll come next time. I will speak more about what he does, but we've really gotten insight on this subject. I'd like to read one response to our question of the day today. Our question of the day today, where we had asked you, what is the origin of the name arrowroot? What is the origin of the name arrowroot? We have Mwendwa wa Embakasi, anasema anatoka Embakasi. Kevin, that question is hard. My guess would be during the agrarian period. Wenye mulisoma history, agrarian period, nikoshua mnakumbuka kabisa. Thank you so much. Now we are going to go for a short break, but we'll come back and look at innovations and agri-facts of our topic today. Have a great time, but remember, we are coming back with innovations and agri-facts.